In the stillness of the forest road, a man sat behind the wheel when a she-wolf emerged from the trees, eyes wide, chest heaving, and tears streaking her fur. Clutched in her jaws was her dying cub, limp and barely breathing. What unfolded next was something no one could have predicted, a moment that defied every rule of nature. He wouldn't have believed it himself if he hadn't seen it with his own eyes. Nearing midnight, a snowstorm had devoured the road, the trees, the entire world in white. He was the only fool out there, heading home from his brother's cabin, windshield wiper squeaking, heater barely keeping up with the cold. Then she appeared, like a phantom conjured from the storm, a she-wolf, right in the middle of the road, frozen still in the headlights. He slammed the brakes, the truck fishtailed, and his heart rocketed into his throat. But she didn't move, didn't flinch, just stood there staring, and her eyes were wet. Not from snow, not blood, tears, but it wasn't just her. On her back, clinging weakly, was a cub, small, barely alive. One leg hung limp, twisted. He whispered, "What the hell?" without expecting an answer. She stepped forward. Every instinct screamed at him to hit the gas. But something else, deeper, unexplainable, held him there, frozen. Like he had opened a door he wasn't meant to see behind. She came closer. His window was cracked, and she brought her muzzle near. No growl, no snarl, just heavy, exhausted breaths. Their eyes locked again. He recognized the look. It was the same expression he'd seen in people stumbling into emergency rooms carrying someone they loved. That silent scream for help. Without thinking, he opened the door. She climbed in, slow and deliberate. The cub clung to her back. Her fur was soaked. Her paws were bloodied. She curled up on the floor of the passenger seat and nudged the cub off her back gently. "You're out of your damn mind," he muttered. Maybe he was too. The cub whimpered. His hands moved on their own, grabbing the emergency blanket, wrapping the little body tight. The breathing was shallow, like air scraping over broken glass. The she-wolf licked the cub's face again and again. He shoved the truck into gear. Only one person came to mind. Sarah, the town vet. If anyone wouldn't call the game warden, it was her. 20 minutes through a blizzard, with a dying cub and his mother in his truck. The she-wolf watched him the entire drive, guarded, not hostile, as if she knew he was her only hope. He couldn't stop asking himself, why him? The cub let out a yelp, a sharp, painful sound. The she-wolf made a low, guttural whine that clawed at his chest. "Hang in there," he muttered, foot heavy on the gas. He called Sarah. She picked up groggy. He didn't waste time. "Wolf cub. Dying. Please, silence then. Bring it. Back door. Don't let anyone see." He could have kissed the steering wheel. When they arrived, Sarah was already waiting. She opened the door. "Holy shit," she whispered, staring at the scene. "Just help him," he said. He carried the cub inside. The she-wolf followed, every step slow and deliberate. Her body shook with exhaustion. The clinic was warm and sterile. Sarah gestured to the table. He laid the cub down. The she-wolf leaped up beside it, curling protectively. Sarah eyed her warily. "I've worked with coyotes, even a bobcat. But this? Can you help him?" "I'll try." She moved slowly, murmuring soft reassurances. The she-wolf didn't growl, just watched, silent and still. Sarah worked quickly. Lungs might be collapsed. He's freezing. Heart's weak. She placed warming pads around the cub and gave him an injection. This might stabilize him. No promises. Then, a twitch, a sharp gasp. "Come on, little guy," Sarah whispered. The she-wolf's tail thumped once against the table. "If he makes it through the night," Sarah said, "he's got a shot." He nodded, couldn't speak, just hoped. He spent the night pacing the parking lot, sipping cold coffee, chain smoking. At sunrise, Sarah stepped out. He made it. Barely, but he made it. The relief nearly dropped him to his knees. Inside, the she-wolf hadn't moved. Eyes locked on her cub, Sarah pulled him aside. "You can't leave them here. Cops, game wardens, someone will find out." "Then I'll take them." "You're insane." "Yeah." She handed him meds, heating pads, and a look like she was handing him a ticking bomb. Back at his house, dead end road, quiet forest, nosy Anthony next door, he brought them into the basement. Cleared tools, laid blankets, heated the room. She sniffed everything, then laid the cub down. Same position. Guarding. Watching. For days he fed them, gave meds, and changed pads. She let him get closer. On the third day, he touched her back. She didn't flinch. The cub stirred. Tiny stretches, soft sounds, eyes half open. He named him Shadow. By day 5, she watched him sleep from across the room. On day 6, she licked his hand. Day 7, Anthony knocked. "You working down there?" "Fixing the furnace. Better not be making moonshine." "Not this week." But he knew the walls were closing in. Then came the knock. Not Anthony. A deputy. "We got a call. Strange animal sounds." He lied. Raccoons. Cooked meat. Traps in the basement. Whatever it took. The deputy didn't believe him, but he left. The she-wolf had growled, barely audible, but enough. They were safe for now. On the 9th morning, he came down with a bout of bronchitis. Shadow was standing, wobbly but standing, eyes wide, alive. The she-wolf nudged him forward. Shadow stumbled, collapsed, whimpered, not in pain, just tired. He reached out, and the she-wolf came close, licked his hand, rested her head on his arm. He didn't move. Couldn't. The man who met them on the road was gone. Later, Sarah said, "That cub's survival is a miracle." He agreed. It felt like one. But that night, the she-wolf changed. She grew tense, alert, listening. He followed her outside. Wolves, a full pack, watching, waiting. She stepped forward, met them, touched noses with a massive gray alpha, then turned to him. Shadow beside her. She looked different, resolved. She picked up Shadow, took one last look, then vanished into the woods. No growl, no drama. Gone. The man stood there for a long time, snow soaking into his skin, silence heavy. Back inside, the basement felt wrong. Blankets still warm, bowls licked clean, heater still humming. He didn't clean up. Not for a while. When people asked, he lied, said he had the flu. Even Anthony noticed. "You look different, like you saw something." "Maybe I did," he replied. The basement stayed empty. He kept one blanket, hers, folded, untouched. Sometimes, walking past the tree line, he thought he saw movement. Sometimes on the wind, he swore he heard a familiar howl. Maybe it was her. Maybe Shadow. Maybe just memory. But one question always lingered. Was it just a wild story, or something more? What do you think of this story? Let us know in the comments section. I hope you like this story. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Also subscribe and press the bell icon to never miss the update from our channel. Thank you.